Honorable Commissioner, Honorable Deputy Commissioner of Insurance, Presidents of Brokers Association from Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi, Rector, Presidents or representatives of other industry associations, Dean at IFM, CEOs, MDs, and my fellow brokers, a very good morning to you all. Let me first start by saying thank you to each and every one of you for being here. The success of such events relies solely on your presence over here, of the participants, and it is your presence here that has made this event the grand event that it has been since yesterday. I believe everybody will agree that as of now, we have been doing very well, and we hope that by the end of this evening, we'll be looking at this as the benchmark for next year. Let me also thank our sponsors, our lead sponsors, KPMG, all our gold sponsors, our silver sponsors, and a thank you to all of the sponsors as well. And since the ceremony is dedicated in the evening for appreciating all these sponsors, we will let it be at that time. When we held our first annual Brokers' Day event last year at the Hyatt, a sense of revival was born into not only TIBA, but the entire insurance industry. Our council received tremendous praise from the entire industry, saying finally we were beginning our journey, and that made our council ask ourselves, what do we do next year? Because having said that this was the first, meant that there was going to be a second, a third, fourth, fifth, and who knows, maybe even 100. Today, after almost a year of holding the first annual Brokers' Day, we have brought you all to this paradise island for the second annual Brokers' Day to show you that as an industry, our reach and capabilities are much more larger than we can even imagine. And it is the understanding of this journey that has given us our theme for the conference, Towards Excellence. Striving for excellence is an important part of any professional job. It involves trying to put quality in everything you do. And this attitude tends to separate the achievers who make rapid strides in their career from the others. Excellence is about stepping outside the comfort zone, training with the spirit of endeavor, and accepting the inevitability of trials and tribulations. Progress is built in effect upon the foundation of necessary failure. This is the essential paradox of expert performance. When these conditions are in place, learning takes off, knowledge escalates, and performance soars. This gathering will see a one-stop information explosion for insurance executives, and this forum will give us all an opportunity to meet and interact with some of the greatest minds in the business of insurance. And as we continue to meet, we will bring inspired people together in our forums to ensure the performance of all our organizations grow to a cutting-edge level. This day also gives us the opportunity to recognize our fellow stakeholders and to put forward to them the opportunity to open dialogue through not only conferencing, but also on a personal level. It is a day when we, as stakeholders of the industry, come together to reach a common goal, the prosperity of our industry. Whilst the other speakers will speak on their subjects during the course of the day, as president of the association, I speak today on behalf of the association and its members. And I begin with the one stakeholder that we interact with the most as brokers. These are our esteemed underwriters. Before anything else, let me just say on behalf of all our members, thank you. Thank you very much for all the support that you have given us throughout the years. More than any other association, whether within the industry or external, the most encouraging entity to any new broker is the underwriter. There is no broker present here today who can say that an underwriter has never, whether in the past or present, encouraged them to grow, gave them support, whether through marketing expenses or technical support. Underwriters have always assisted a new broker to gain confidence through their support, and I must sincerely thank you for that. Your support has been invaluable to our growth, and we are indeed hopeful that with the new zeal of the Association of Tanzania Insurers, that together we will work towards growth and prosperity of this market. Our regulator is now bringing into the market a solvency requirement which will automatically cater to rate structuring and hence stabilize the market whilst at the same time ensure a free and open market. Thus, as brokers, we are awaiting our esteemed underwriters to now show us the true difference in service. With that being said, my underwriters, may I also stress that your assistance for the growth of this market is imperative. Whilst brokers are playing their part to establish offices in rural areas, it is at times lack of products that discourages them to operate in those areas for a longer period of time. And whilst I do share your sentiment that being on the ground, they can advise on product development, however, as I've always said, let us be honest with one another and accept that the level of exposures that you as underwriters have in the international market plays a pivotal role to assist these brokers to sell insurance products on your behalf. Your technical support is also a key element required in the growth of this market. Whilst TIBA has for the past 20 months embarked on training workshops in partnership with KPMG and ITL, as underwriters I'm very certain that you too have training budgets and can support brokers. much. I recall an old story, which I've said a number of times, is when an assistant manager once walked up to his managing director and said, why do we train all these employees when all they do is leave? They go and find another job. The managing director replied back, so would you rather prefer we don't train them and they stay with us forever? Think of this example and ask yourself, would you rather not have a broker who can understand and sell your product to the market, rather than limit yourself to think that since he is a broker and can sell on behalf of everyone, then why should we train him? The market is growing, and the most visible sign is that today we have over 130 brokers in the market placed all over Tanzania. All that is remaining now is for an underwriter to invest and reap the benefits of that untapped market. Lastly, I must say that it is once again very crucial that our associations invest in the organic growth of business through allocation of more resources in research and development. I'm awaiting for the day that I'm asked by ATI that we should embark on a joint actuarial analysis of the true potential of the Tanzanian market. Whilst we always hear from the outside on penetration in the industry, I await the day we ourselves tell the world this is the potential of Tanzania, and then we'll see them all running to our market. To the Association of Loss Assessors and Adjusters, whilst all of us face the challenge of local human resource, we realize that no one else faces it more than you. The requirement of not only qualified but experience beyond the exposure of Tanzania talent is utmost required in your field. And whilst as TIBA we recognize this, we do urge you to assist us in ensuring that our mutual clients are given the service they paid for. I've heard brokers speak this many a times that the assessor does not realize how difficult it is to retain a client, and they take too long to prepare reports. And whilst true or false would depend on interpretation, it is my humble request for your association to assist us. Let us set guidelines, timeframes, as associations, and then let us provide the service for which we are both paid for. We have in the past 20 months requested thrice for joint meetings with your association, and we are still awaiting a response. Today, once again, I take this opportunity to extend an invitation and will await your response so that we can work together towards common goals. To the East African Insurance Brokers Association, whilst a number of milestones have been achieved by TIBA in the past 20 months, one which I personally consider an achievement in our association is our partnership with our regional broking body. The East African Insurance Brokers Association, in my personal capacity as Vice President of EIBA, I can assure you that this organization, this institution, will strengthen the EAC regional integration of the insurance market and will one day result into not only a small step, but a giant leap towards prosperity of the entire region. I thank you, my President of EIBA, board members of EIBA, for making time to this conference today, and it is my hope that this will give you a sign of the steps taken forward by the brokers and the entire insurance industry of Tanzania. To the Insurance Institute of Tanzania, we thank you. At a time when TIBA wanted to start with a physical presence, your support was invaluable and a sign of your commitment to the market. I can inform members present today that a number of changes are going to take place at the Institute. As you may be aware, I was recently elected as Vice President of the IIT. We have now drafted a 5-year strategic plan for the Institute with, once again, the assistance of KPMG, and will now embark on to involve industry stakeholders so that we can bring the Institute to a level of recognition in not only Tanzania, but the entire region. To the Institute of Finance Management, we thank you for producing some of the best talents in the country. I believe, just like me, a number of you have personally worked with IFM graduates, and you will say that most definitely they have a very good crop with them. As an association, for the past 20 months, we have tried to play our part, not only with sponsorship at events, career days, but also training of students in software with our partnership with ITL. As a fact, through that partnership, we have been training over 30 students every week with an aim to train over 300 before the end of this year. One more result has been the KPMG initiative, the Internship Challenge. Much will be said about this afterwards, but for those of you that are aware, this is a milestone that as TIBA and IFM we have come to, and we hope that this partnership with KPMG will continue. To my brokers, on behalf of my council, I now address you. It is my hope that we, your elected council, have performed to your satisfaction in the past 20 months since we were chosen, and a brief highlight of our works for the entire industry is as follows. We have held 2 golf tournaments which were aimed at fundraisers for training seminars, which initially held for only brokers, but then were extended for the entire industry. Our official website was launched last year, and it is regularly updated with our MOU, as with our MOU with ITL. The Council was involved in the national budget discussions of 2016-2017 with the Ministry of Finance and the support of our regulator, which led to the removal of VAT on the aviation industry. The Council is also involved in the local content forums under the Prime Minister's Office and the National Economic Empowerment Council, which is aimed at empowering Tanzanians to develop the economy. Our involvement on various training seminars, not only for industry members, but students of IFM, who we recognize as the future of our industry, is aiming to train more than 300 students, as mentioned, before the end of this year. The launch of the KPMG Internship Challenge, a first of its kind in East Africa, whereby students of IFM were asked to write an essay on selected topics, and the winner would be announced today and will win a 6 to 12-month paid internship with KPMG, a first throughout East Africa. Our partnership with the Insurance Times magazine, which is the official communication method to our members. Over the past 20 months, we realized that one of the reasons for the hindrances that we faced, or the challenges that we faced in the market, was communication. Through the Insurance Times magazine, we are communicating to the industry, and we ask you to come forward as well with your articles, with your pieces that are there, so that let us inform the entire region what Tanzania is achieving. Our recent insurance awareness walk, once again the first of its kind in Tanzania, to create awareness in the market and to show our unity as an industry, which will without doubt show our strength and commitment to the overall prosperity of this nation. And lastly, our presence here today. I say this proudly that 20 months ago, when the current council was elected, we had assured you, our members, that we would take our association to an international standard. And I do hope our presence here is a sign that we are without doubt on the right track. On behalf of my council, I thank you, my members, for your support and the opportunity you gave us to serve you. Lastly, and most importantly, to our regulator. Honorable Commissioner, you are our voice to the government of this great nation. And it is our hope that, having seen our commitment, growth, and strive for excellence over the past 20 months, you can now communicate upwards that indeed the industry is committed to the growth of this country. Over the past 20 months, in my capacity as president of the association, I have met a number of brokers, underwriters, regulatory officers, and stakeholders of a number of countries. But having met them all, I can say this with firmness, that we have one of the best regulators on the entire continent. Honorable Commissioner, I now speak only in my personal capacity, and it is my hope that the others present here will perhaps join me in my thoughts when I say that I, as an industry stakeholder and an insurance practitioner in this great nation of ours, owe you a sincere apology. I owe you an apology because it took me a very long period before I realized that I had a very large part to play in the industry, but I only looked at you and never at myself to play that part. You have in principle always led and assisted to the requests of the industry. When we came to you to inform you that the market had crunches in regard to finances for payments, you assisted us with the first premium payment warranty. When we came back to you this time, you once again listened to us. When we came to you saying that the market was facing the challenge of undercutting, you assisted us to conduct an actuarial analysis of the market so that we could self-regulate. We once again came to you to state that this was not being followed, and you have once again assisted us in creating an environment in which solvency will be used by individual underwriters to set rates. When we came to you in regard to forced selling and tying arrangements by particular financial institutions, you assisted us by showing how fair competition operates and assisted in acquiring clarifications in writing that it was illegal to tie or force sell to a client. When we came to you in regard to the challenge of license renewals, you assisted us on working on a 3-year license system to assist us. Honourable Commissioner, I can indeed go on and on with the support that you have extended to our industry, and my apology is based on the same reasons, that we have not learned that our Commissioner has always wanted to reach this market to a point of self-regulation. Perhaps when we leave from this forum, we will leave with this in our mind and play our part in this industry. Before I end, there is a message that I read in my room last night that I was going through this. I believe a number of you that are staying must have seen this. And it said something that made me think much more. When we look at our industry as a whole, and you read this, you may understand and you may reflect. It says, and I quote, "Maybe my canoe is bigger than yours, but the sea is the same. If there are no fish, we both go hungry." Let me end by saying this, that the future of this entire industry is dependent on the people sitting inside this room right now. We are the only ones, each and every one of us in this room, that can make this a prosperous market. There is no other. So let us, once we return from this conference, work on our journey towards excellence. May I once again welcome you all and thank you all for attending the second Brokers' Day and wish you an informative and constructive day ahead. Thank you very much.